So if you're new to Logic Pro and you have yourself your guitar and you're used to playing through your amp, you might be asking yourself, what's the best way to configure Logic Pro to use with your guitar? Should you use an amp? Should you go straightly direct into an audio interface? Should you mic up your amp? Should you use a guitar track? Should you use an audio track? If you have guitar pedals, should you use guitar pedals with your amp? Or maybe you should use the guitar pedals that are hosted in Logic Pro. In this video, we'll discuss all those topics and discuss how you should use your guitar with Logic Pro, what kind of track you should use, how to use your amplifier and microphones, and whether to use your own guitar pedals or Logic Pro guitar pedals. Let's talk about a couple of things on the Logic Pro side. As far as the tracks go, you basically have two choices. You can go with an audio track, which is basically going to take the signal that goes in and it's going to be clean. There's no configuration or sound or anything going on the Logic Pro side. Or you could utilize one of Logic Pro's guitar tracks. There's a couple options there as well. You have straight guitar tracks, and you also have complete guitar rigs on the guitar side, on the Logic Pro side as well. And I'll also briefly touch on some plugins, specifically the pedal boards you have available in Logic Pro. And I will discuss those a little bit later and actually demo how to configure those a little bit later in this video. Let's take a look at the equipment used in this video. The Fender American Ultra Stratocaster HSS. The Fender Blues Junior Amplifier. A couple foot pedals. Microphone stand with the SM57 microphone and the microphone cord attached. A few 1/4-inch cables. The Scarlett 18i20 audio interface. And a MacBook Pro, which hosts Logic Pro. One simple way you could use your guitar with Logic Pro is to not even use your amplifier at all. You could take your electric guitar and run it directly into your audio interface and use the tracks that you prefer on the Logic Pro side, again, audio or guitar track. And you could even run a couple pedals before. You could use them before it goes into Logic Pro, or again, you could use the pedals on the Logic Pro side. But again, you could leave your your amp completely out of the loop, go directly into the audio interface, and then utilize the track on Logic Pro from there. One option you have while using your amplifier with the Logic Pro, I had to bust out an older amp here to demonstrate, is to use the output jack of your amplifier to go into your audio interface. So as you can see here, I have my guitar plugged into my amplifier over here, and the output goes into an audio interface which is connected to my MacBook Pro and Logic Pro. And you can use an audio track or a guitar rig over on the Logic Pro side, on your track side. And you also have the option, you could string together one or more guitar pedals on this side if you wanted to, and you could also, if you wanted to, use guitar pedals on the Logic Pro side. A final way to use your guitar with Logic Pro, and the one I actually prefer, is to utilize your amplifier. And of course your foot pedal is optional. You can either use one like I'm using it here on the Logic Pro side, but the way I like to do it is I plug my guitar into my foot pedal, which runs into my amp, and then I have my SM57 microphone that I plug into an audio interface with an audio track. That's just the way I prefer to do it. You could also use a guitar track on that side, and you can use the pedals on the Logic Pro side as well. Create a new track, click on the track drop-down list and select New Tracks. Next, select the audio option and then click on the Create button. You could also select New Audio Track from the Tracks drop-down list like this. Follow these steps to create a guitar track. As you can see, there are several types and flavors of guitar tracks to choose from. Logic Pro also has a nice suite of complete guitar rigs, which I will surf now. Plugins are a great way to enhance the sound of your guitar track. Click on this icon to open the inspector panel. You can add plugins by clicking on the gray area here. As you can see, there are a wide array of plugins to choose from. To add a guitar pedal to your guitar track, go to the inspector panel and open the plugins. Navigate to Amps and Pedals and select the pedal board. You can either double-click or drag and drop the pedal to add it to your track. In conclusion, from this video you can see there's a lot of things to consider when using your guitar with Logic Pro. I'd suggest experimenting a little bit and seeing which one works best for you. I started out by going straight into my audio interface and using guitar tracks like a guitar rig and utilizing the pedals and things in the Logic Pro side. But now I prefer to go through my amp. I go straight into my amp. And I will use a microphone that goes into my audio interface, and I'll connect that to an audio track and just keep it really clean on the Logic Pro side and control all my noise, including foot pedals and everything on the amp side. So good luck. I hope you have fun and find the best way that works for you. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below.